Minasan Ohio, Ore wa Tacho desu. Soshite, Fire Emblem Heroes Tier Listo Goran kudasai. Okay, if my weebness didn't just rub off on everybody there, I apologize for that intro. But, okay, so we are going to be taking a look at an updated version of the top 5 heroes of every color. So, of course, we got red, blue, green, colorless. Last time we did one of these was a hot minute ago, so obviously in FEH terms that means an eternity. So this list is going to be very different. I've gone ahead and filled in who I think the guaranteed locks are. I don't think anyone's going to be arguing these guys in top 5 for their color. And then we have a bunch down here that we're going to try to sort into each of these colors and see if we can finish things off. Now, for colorless, we're already done, and we didn't even get a chance to look at anybody else, but we are still going to take a look at some other units, because I think there may be some wiggle room for colorless, where maybe a certain unit or two may be able to slide in at the cost of somebody in there, but for the most part, I don't think anyone's arguing with these placements for the time being. So why don't we start things off with red. Emblem Erica's ridiculous. I thought she was actually the best unit in the game, and then they released Baby Camilla, who now I think she is the best unit in the game. But yeah, I mean, Emblem Erica's crazy. Needhogger, Mythic 1, still pretty crazy. Legendary Ira, probably the best legendary hero in the game at the moment. Potent support is cracked. Her player phase potential is insane. She's just really good. And then Hector, who got a massive buff with the Erica ring, which can allow him to brave attack on the counter. He still sets up the stone tiles immediately, which is really good, although not quite as good anymore, thanks to Baby Milla. Alright, then on blue, we've got the New Year Needhogger. Again, basically nothing needs to be said. She's as good as the red one, but in some ways better, in some ways maybe a little worse. And then we have Emblem Sigurd. I don't really think there's much to be said about him either, but we look at the rest of the blue options. I don't really think anyone else is as guaranteed of a lock for a top 5 spot as these two are. So blue is kind of in an awkward spot right now where they don't really have too many other crazy cracked out units. All right, then on green, Baby Milla is just number 1. How insulting does it have to be trampled on by not only a baby, but a baby of Camilla? Like, come on, man. If you're going to step on me, at least make it be Mommy Milla, not Baby Milla. Alright, then we've got the Valentine Edelgard, best Gale Forcer in the game. Still a tremendous menace to deal with for Aether Raid's defense setups. But her counterpart, the Duo Rhea, does at least have a decent shot at being able to take care of her. So they're like interchangeable, these two. I love that. Like, the Rhea and Edelgard feud has moved into FEH from 3 houses. And they're still like at each other's throats, and who knows who's going to win. Alright, then we've got Mythic Haythrun, who I think is probably just a little better than the New Year one. Only out of the fact that she's a defense mythic hero, and that's kind of a big deal for the major place where you're going to be running her, which is Aether Raid's defense. She is very effective, though, still in SD as well, and I don't think she scores high enough for Arena, but the Duo 1 does, so like that's where the Duo 1 would actually take a bit of an advantage. Also, her being melee gives her access to some better stuff, so I don't know. These two, they're pretty close. I think the Mythic one is a little bit better, but not by that much. Alright, and then we have Desert Marissa, who has the best access to Brave Attack support. If you thought potent support from Ira was good, then obviously Desert Marissa is even better. Alright, dude, 3 column and 3 row Brave support with drive all stats of 4. This unit is a crazy supporter. Okay, then on to colorless, we have the Legendary... Actually, I lied earlier when I said Legendary Ira was the best legendary hero. No, it's actually Legendary Sakura. She is insane. I mean, she is actually in discussion for the best unit in the game as well. And you want to know why that is? If you can flash back all the way to when Summoner Duels first came out, and who was the best unit in the game for Summoner Duels? Well, there were 2 units. It was, what's his name again? Ashen Wolf guy? I don't even remember. Yuri, right? Like, that's his name? I've never played Ashen Wolves. I've never played the DLC for 3 houses, so whatever. But Yuri, he was the most hated unit in SD at the opening days for SD. Also, the Brave Erica from the time. She was also really good. What do they both have in common? They've got great reach. One was a cav, one had cavalry movement. And then they both can Kanto 2 spaces away to safety. So hit and run was a big deal, and ever since Kanto control, units like that have taken a massive hit. Sakura just says no to that. Like, you guys remember Yuri meta? How about we go back to that? So, yeah, being able to give the middle finger to Kanto control, I think is the scummiest thing they've ever done. Because Kanto control is what I like to call an anti-bullshit mechanic. There's a lot of that going around, like Warp Bubble, for example, and Kanto control. I think those are effects that you really should not tamper with. Because what they're doing is anti-bullshit, like I said. It keeps things fair and keeps things balanced. And then they've released ways to get around that. Like Camilla's got pass. Sakura's got warp, well, not warp bubble. She's got basically Kanto control stop. Camilla's got warp bubble stop with pass. I don't really like that. I feel like warp bubble and Kanto control should at least be omnipotent skills that you can't really do anything about. Hopefully in the future, well, I shouldn't say hopefully, predictably in the future, we're probably going to get a warp bubble that stops pass and a Kanto control that stops salvage. I could totally see that happening, but as far as when that's going to happen, I don't know. All right, then we got Duo Rhea. We talked about her a little bit. She's really good. Crazy Near Saver, and then also with the Miracle support, that's insane as well. We got Duo Lucina here, the Ninja Lucina, crazy unit. With her ability to just give massive support, she can take 2 actions in a turn, which is good. So I don't really have any complaints about her. We got Yunaka, who pairs up really good with Sakura. Her ability to warp in and then attack from... What is it? She can basically warp up to 4 spaces and attack from 2 spaces away. And then she Kantos all the way back with Sakura. So she's really good. And then Duo Heithrun, who we touched upon a little. She's also really good. So now that leaves the case of who are we filling in these empty slots with. So we can start by looking at red units because we need one more red unit to make a top 5. So, Brave Felix, he's still pretty good. We can move him down there. All right, anybody else? But actually, is Brave Felix the only other... Wow. He's the only other red unit. That's insane to me. Hold on, that can't be right. There's got to be some other red unit. Let's quickly take a peek here. Wow, that's actually stunning. Okay, I guess there's like this Dimitri, the Valentine one, but he's not that crazy. Yeah, wow. Red doesn't really have a lot of units, does it? Which is weird, because red has traditionally been like one of the most oversaturated colors. I'm not really seeing anything that's blowing me away from red right now. I guess it has to be Felix, even though Felix has actually fallen on some tough times himself, if you can even believe that. But yeah, I will give it to Felix because he's still really good. Of course, his action economy is great, and he can still put it in with his AoE build or his Gust build if you want to go for that. I think that's a fair red unit. Okay, then let's go ahead and fill in green next because we only need one. Emblem Lin has taken a massive dive with the advent of the Erica ring. That counters her so hard. It's damn near to the point where she's almost unusable now. Which is crazy, because when she came out, she was... Like, what was she, number 1? Pretty easily? I don't know, man. We'll hold on to her. This Shez is really good, the Winter Shez. She's got crazy DPS potential. She's not hurt as badly by the Erica ring, because... why would that be? I guess you could give her, like, Wind Sweep. You could probably give Lin Wind Sweep, too, if you wanted to. And then both of them would have a way out against the Erica ring. Yeah, like Flash support is really good for them. Okay, then Nurgle's really good, but obviously the Needhoggers, they counter his status effect. We got the Attuned Micaiah, who's really good for her support. Ymir is pretty good for her support. Oh, Dedue is in here too now. Yeah, Dedue is pretty cool. They basically made him Attuned Hector at home, which I think is respectable for a refine out of a random 5-star. So that's pretty good. And then finally, we got the New Year Hresvelger, who unfortunately just got completely aped by the baby Milla. Bro. This Harass Velgar, she was like kind of a low-key slept-on unit because people really undersold how good the like unmitigated amounts of true damage is that she gets. With no cap being there, she can just hit like super hard. And Baby Camilla does that with pass, with warping, with terrain control. It's just, she's just this unit to the 11th. It's insane, like what they did with Baby Camilla. So who do we have as the 5th best green option, man? Damn. Micaiah is really nice in SD still for the like amount of debuffing and debuff support she can do with recovery. Damn. Lynn is still good if you get the flash support. Like I said, she can be great. She's also really cracked with lay radar still, because then you don't really have to worry about the Erica ring that much. You can just hit somebody else who doesn't have far save and is not prepared to deal with Lynn. Yeah, it's really like, this is really going to come down to what you value more. If you value DPS, I think Hresvelgar. If you value, like, reach, I think Lynn. And then if you value support, it's either Ymir or Micaiah. I'm probably going to go ahead and give it to Lynn, just barely. That's a really close one, though. I know people are down on... People have been down on Lynn since she came out, by the way. So, if you don't like that, then feel free to insert anyone else in the green slot instead of her. Okay, blue has a lot of work to do, so why don't we get started here? We have the baby male Corrin duo from the recent baby banner, Hansel and Gretel, I like to call him. So, baby male Corrin, how good is he? Well, he's certainly very good. I kind of oversold how good his status effect was, Draconic Hex. I thought it was going to work like a Plegian type of debuff, but that's not how it works, sadly. So... he's taken a little bit of a dive for me in terms of how good I thought he was, but he's still very good, right? Like, we have to have him in top 5. All right, we got the Duo Alir. He's really good for his support and then also utility. Same with this Baby Robin. She's still always really good. King Freyr, if we're talking about AR, he's like a mandatory top 5. But if we're talking about all the other modes, like Summoner Duels and Arena and stuff like that, he's not all that needed. Brave Crom is really good. Duo Thor is never going away, is she? She's just going to be good forever. Like, look at the meta we're in right now, the status effect meta. You just turn off status effects. She can counter Sakura, right? Like, she can turn off salvage, and then all of a sudden the enemies can't do their crazy Kanto control shenanigans. So, like, that's still pretty good. This is Legendary Sheeta here. She's actually pretty interesting with her Vantage ability to counterattack. Like, she's one of the few units that can actually take out Erica on the, like, by tanking, not really tanking, but just enemy phase Erica, because she's got the Vantage. Although I guess you could run Hardy Bearing Erica, because, like, Erica's not really the type of unit that needs to be hitting 4 times in a row anyway, even though she's got the Brave, mainly because of all the DR that she's got. All right, we got Ronan the Barbarian with his monstrous damage output. All right, Desert Ike and Tamara are basically interchangeable. Tamara's probably a little better, though, because she can actually run Null C. Well, I mean, Ike has Null C built in. He doesn't need Null C Echo, so they're basically like the same unit. All right, we have Athos also. Athos, who's pretty interesting. Emblem Celica, who's pretty good, specifically with Lay Radar. She's in the same boat as Emblem Lynn, where she's got a crazy amount of reach, but she doesn't really have the firepower to take out the far saves. So if Lay Radar is there to turn somebody else into a far save, then she can be really good. She combos really well with Sakura. I think Celica's in a decent spot. Okay, we got Ninja Saline, who is basically a side variant of Atun Micaiah. They do different things, but they both are kind of similar. We got this dancer over here. This is the Bunny Plumeria. Honestly, like, dancers have kind of fallen off. Why would you run a dancer when your units have 50 million actions on their own? Like, Hathorun giving Nectar, that gives you an extra action. Lucina's got extra actions. I mean, Felix has got extra action. Action economy has just skyrocketed. Then there's also Ice Lock, which gives you an extra action for the staff-type units. So, You don't really need a dancer anymore. Even though, obviously, dancers are very good still, but you just don't really need them. And I think that's every blue unit now, so, wow, we got a lot of blue units down here. We need 2 more to fill in our top 5. Yeah, again, this could go either way. It really just comes down to what you have a preference for. I'm always in Camp Reach. Like, Reach is the strong... If you've ever played a Fire Emblem game, even in the main series, like, Reach, the units that can hit the farthest spaces away, who controls the most ground, are typically always going to be just generally the best units. So, like, Celica, I feel like if you just do the stuff for her, like I said, just run Lay Radar, then yeah, she can kind of... She's basically in the same boat as Lyn, like I said. And then there's the support and utility side of things, where I think Alear could be in there. I think Robin could be in there. King Freyr could absolutely be in there, but only for AR, I think. Brave Crom is really good. Thor is really good. There's really no right answer here. It's like any of these down here could go up there. Who do we want to give it to, though? That's the question. Oh, man. I'm leaning towards one of the first 4 over here. Damn, I think I might give it to King Freyr. He can still work. It's not like he's useless in SD, right? Like, he can still put it in. The penalty cleansing immediately is still really good. It's not quite as good as it is in AR, but it's still good in SD. It's just that in SD, there's going to be more mid-turn shenanigans that he's not going to be able to protect you against. So you do at least have to be wary of that. That's where units like Ymir can come into play, where they have the mid-turn penalty cleanse, which is really good. Okay, so that's basically everything. We've got our top 5 set up now. We can just quickly skim through colorless, I guess, and see if there's any replacements to be had. So the Christmas Hortensia is really good. Do I have her in over any of these units? That's a really tough call, man, because she's absolutely good. And Ice Lock is really good. It's just that, is she better than any of these? Dude. That's tough. That's real tough. I don't know if I could have her in over these guys, though. That's the problem. She's very good, though. Lay Radar, who we've been talking about quite a lot here. I've never been on the fence about a unit as much as I have with this guy. Ever since he came out, I've been using him basically every day. He's on every one of my Aether Raids defenses. I use him in Summoner Duels all the time. He scores high enough for Arena if you want to use him in there. So, like, by all accounts, this guy should be a shoo-in for a top 5 colorless unit. And yet, at the same time, I feel like he's very unnecessary. Does that make any sense? Like, a unit who I'm always using, I've got him on every team, and at the same time, I feel like he doesn't even really need to be there. It's really hard to explain this guy. I don't know. I just don't know. He's amazing and he's awful at the same time. Like, he does everything and he does nothing. See if you can wrap your head around that. All right, we got Halloween Asker. I don't think he can slide in over any of these guys. He's a great supporter, but not on the level of them. The Mythic Loki is really good with her penalty, or not penalty cleansing, but her buff removal at the start of turn. She can do it every turn, unlike Thor, who can only do it once. But Thor does it mid-turn, which can be way more valuable than at the start of turn. So, as far as, like, buff removal, I think the Duo Thor I like better. But, like, Duo Thor is not a good unit herself. She doesn't do anything besides stall and then also the Duo button. This Loki can do Ice Lock. She can do Warp Support. She can do a lot of things, man. She's not a one-trick pony like this Loki is, or this Thor is. So, she's still pretty good. Fallen Maria is okay for the Miracle support. And again, she's a staff type, so she can run Ice Lock, which is really good. But we're getting Miracle support from Rhea, right? Like, she is definitely the best Miracle supporter in the game right now. All right, we got Legendary Micaiah in here, mainly because she's just like a really good tank remover. Give her the Lyn Ring, and then she's good to go, pretty much. And it's pretty consistent. Like, her matchup against most of the armors is pretty consistent. At least the far save ones. I haven't really tested her out too much against Erica Ring far save armors. But before the Erica Ring, she was actually doing pretty good at wiping out far saves. So I think she's okay, but she's not, like, on the level of these guys. And then we have the duo Hilda, who... the surprising unit, kind of slept on, but always been really good. Just her duo button doing isolation. Isolation has got to be the most powerful status effect right now. It's just that nobody can do it. So, what are you going to go for? Like, you going for isolation or are you going for salvage? That's pretty much what it comes down to. But again, she is a staff unit. She can run Ice Lock. She can run Sway now, or even the one from the Baby Elise that gives you Dazzling Staff instead. That's pretty good. And then her duo button is reusable, so you can use it more than once in a fight. For SD, like, isolation is a game-winning status effect in Summoner Duels. It's just that, like I said, nobody can really do it. So, it's hard to have her in here, but at the same time, she definitely deserves to be mentioned. And then finally, we've got the Attuned Alm, who's really good. Are we having this guy in top 5? I don't know. Man, he just came out too. That's sad. He's really good. I would have liked him a little bit more if he had flash support. Hold on. Let's pull him up real quick. I just want to double check what he does. I don't think he had flash, or not flash, but like wind sweep built in, right? I don't think he has that. All right, so he's got warping, but he doesn't have pass, so it's whatever. By the way, speaking of pass, we're probably going to get pass echo at some point. I can see them doing that. Like, just release a unit like, I don't know, attuned Yunaka or something. And then they just have pass echo. Or like attuned Volt. And he's got pass echo. And then you can just give every unit pass and then warping. That is going to be a thing, I promise. Alright, he also has the great talent. He's got special cooldown pulsing. Getting a lot of stats there. Getting a lot of true damage. He gets some healing. I don't know why he would need healing, but he gets it. He's got some protection, too. What he really needs is Fire Sweep, though. Alright, yeah, he gets a little bit of non-pierceable DR there. That's good. So he's kind of like Emblem Erica a little bit, except a range version. He's like a combination of Emblem Erica and Legendary Ira, except he's a range type unit, where he's got, like, you want a Brave Attack with him to bite through these far saves, and he can definitely do it, but he's going to be able to tank through whatever the enemies are throwing at him. He's probably got a better matchup against, like, Erica Ring save units than most, so he's probably okay. He's just a DPS unit, though. I don't know if I could have him in. Like, Yunaka's just a DPS unit, too, but she has pass, which is the difference maker. She's got that, and then she has the reach to actually pull it off. Like, Alm's reach is not going to be as crazy as Yunaka's, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think that's probably about it. This is what I would consider at least my top 5. We can say that. More so than, like, everybody else. Because I think Blue definitely has a lot of room for discussion. Colorless has some room for discussion. I just don't know who you would swap out for any of these guys. Like, Lay Radar is very high on the cusp of being in there. But I don't know who to take out for him. And the same could be said for a lot of these other colors, man. And then green, you could value other things over Lin if you wanted to. Like Ymir, for example. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This has been your boy Tacho with another top 5 of every color FEH units. And let me know what you guys have as your top 5 for every color. And I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.